Have you ever felt like you had something to hide? Something that made you feel different? That made you want to just disappear into the background? Let me tell you a story about a man named Liam. Liam had a long, jagged scar that stretched across his face, from his temple down to his jawline. It was the first thing anyone ever noticed about him, and because of it, life was a constant series of awkward encounters. In the supermarket, cashiers would stare, their eyes lingering on the raised, discolored skin. Strangers on the street would do a double take. Some people were bold, even rude. They'd ask blunt questions like, "What happened to your face?" Or "Was it a fight?" Others were just as bad in a different way. They'd meticulously avoid looking at his face altogether, their gaze fixed on his shoes, the wall, anywhere but him. This silent judgment, the feeling of being an oddity, was exhausting. For years, Liam's scar defined him. Or rather, he let it. His solution was to hide. He lived in a world of shadows, both literally and figuratively. His wardrobe consisted almost entirely of hoodies. He pulled the hood up tight, casting his face in darkness, hoping to become invisible. When he had to talk to someone, he'd keep his head down, mumbling his words, avoiding eye contact at all costs. Silence became his shield, and isolation his fortress. He believed that if people couldn't see his scar, they couldn't judge him. But in trying to hide his scar, he ended up hiding himself, his personality, his warmth, his humor. It was all locked away behind a wall of shame. Then, one day, something shifted. Liam was reluctantly volunteering at a local elementary school, giving a simple talk about fire safety. He stood at the front of the classroom, put down for once, feeling the familiar prickle of anxiety as dozens of small eyes stared up at him. He braced himself for the usual whispers or pointed fingers. But children see the world differently. After his talk, a little girl in the front row, with bright pigtails and an even brighter smile, raised her hand. She didn't look away or whisper to her friend. She looked right at him, her expression full of pure, simple curiosity. Liam called on her, his heart pounding. She asked in a small, clear voice, "Does it hurt?" The question was so innocent, so direct, it caught him completely off guard. All the years of rude questions and averted gazes had prepared him for judgment, not for empathy. He took a deep breath, and for the first time in a long time, he answered truthfully. He nodded slowly. "It did," he said, his voice a little shaky. "It hurt a lot when I got it, but in a way, it saved me." The whole room went quiet. The little girl's eyes widened. Liam found himself continuing, the words pouring out of him. He explained that years ago, there was a terrible car accident. The car had caught fire, and his little sister was trapped inside. Without a second thought, he had broken a window and pulled her out, shielding her from the flames and shattered glass. The scar on his face was a permanent reminder of that moment of the searing heat, the sharp edges, and the desperate fight to save someone he loved. As he finished his story, you could have heard a pin drop. The children weren't looking at a monster or a freak. They were looking at a hero. The teacher had tears in her eyes. In that moment, Liam understood something profound. The scar wasn't a mark of ugliness or something to be ashamed of. It was a testament to his love, a symbol of his bravery. From that day forward, everything changed for Liam. He stopped pulling up his hood. He started looking people in the eye when they spoke to him. He walked with his head held high. The stares didn't completely disappear, but his perception of them did. He realized that when people looked at his scar, they weren't just seeing a flaw. They were seeing a story. They were seeing proof of courage. His greatest insecurity had become his greatest source of strength. He hadn't changed the scar. He had changed the story he told himself about it. And by doing that, he finally set himself free. What's the scar you're trying to hide? Maybe it's not a physical one. Maybe it's a past mistake, a fear, or an insecurity. What if, instead of hiding it, you saw it as a part of your story? A part that proves you survived, you learned, you grew. What if your greatest weakness is actually the source of your greatest strength? Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires. See you next time.